Recording in progress.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, that's too bad. I'll just stop that then. There's a whole metal song I was hoping to play. Some guy made it with AI, and it's Elon Musk is the vocalist. You got Uncle Sam on the guitar, JD Vance on like the bass, and then Trump playing the drums. And the name of the song is Fafo, and it's about fucking around, and you're about to find out. Oh well, anyway, I guess I blew the intro after such a strong effort last week with the Soviet national anthem. But
That's right.
anyway, it is episode 309 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I'm Jeffrey,
I'm Brian.
and we're just two guys here talking about what's going on. Uh, it says great news in the headline, which made me think I don't know if I want to read this article, but it still gave me the news. But Carmelo Anthony will be facing the death sentence at his trial. We haven't brought him up in a while. He was the young man that stabbed that other young man through the heart at a like a track and field event or something.
Okay, good.
Uh, yeah, like his family asked for a whole bunch of money, then went and bought themselves like a $1.5 million house or something like that.
I can't view the
Everyone thought,
article because it wants me to download stuff to my computer. So,
but yeah, the article just says he will be facing the death penalty, and I was like, oof, that's that's unfortunate for that young man. As much as I think it's pretty clear what happened.
mm-hmm.
I mean, the kid's like might not even be old enough to buy beer when he's sentenced to death.
Right.
Uh, all right. So it looks like this trade war with China is, but yeah, China with Canada is really affecting the Canadian economy right now. We get something like 2/3 of the goods they make, and Canada thought they could. They had the upper hand in
Right.
this discussion,
Uh,
and it's starting to it's starting to really cause a problem because the auto manufacturers are just reopening factories in the United States.
right.
You know, uh, yeah, jobs are being lost. They said it's worst they've seen besides the pandemic in terms of employment. So, here's hoping we can find some kind of middle ground with Canada. They do have some goods that we like besides maple syrup. Let's cut down the Canadian trees and build homes instead of cutting down American trees, right?
Right.
And there we go. We brought this up a while ago because Trump mentioned it in passing, at least that's what it seemed like. But he brought up a $200
Two,
dividend payment out of tariffs,
2000.
right?
2000.
2K. What did I say?
200.
Oh, my mistake. $2,000 tariff dividend, and it said everyone, not all taxpayers,
Well,
anyone who's
and the
not wealthy.
Treasury Secretary came out almost immediately and said this will probably be in the form of a rebate on taxes, not an actual check. So,
So if you're not paying taxes, you're not getting any of this money.
right.
All right. Well, hey, I can respect that, honestly. That's unfortunate because
I had the money
I
spent
paid.
already.
That's always a mistake. uh, and we brought this up a while ago, and apparently it's happened, Brian. This is an eventful
Trump
day,
said
and I
that
think this is a mistake.
Trump was said this was going to happen because pennies were costing more to make than there actually were. So
But does this mean that we can no longer charge and 99 cents, or does this mean
no, I mean
that
there's
you
going
have
to
to
be
swipe your debit card?
there's still going to be pennies in circulation during our lifetime. They're not going away anytime soon. Part of this problem
Correct.
is all the people that are collecting pennies at home because they don't want to deal with them. People have jars and jars of pennies.
Yeah, I used to do the same thing, and yeah, you'd go cash them in and get like $300 in pennies.
Right.
But and this was back in the day before the coin stars existed. We sat there and counted them and put them in rolls,
Yeah, yeah. That's the only way
which
you can turn them into a bank or credit union is in a roll. So you can't just walk
and
in there with a jar.
yeah, and you learn quickly to put out stacks of like 10, and then you make five that have the same height, and that's your roll. Yeah, but yeah, and you'd sit there for hours rolling them. Then you go, yeah, get a couple $100 out of pennies that have been in your pocket over the
Apparently,
year
they've
instead of
made some
disappearing.
special ones too to commemorate the thing, so that you can buy too.
Ooh, that might be worth something. That might be worth the pretty penny.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now you see why I put that as a title idea.
I knew as soon as you put it in there what.
All right. You're like, oh, that's a little on the nose. Uh, and yeah, I read this story. I think you might have shared it.
Yeah.
Uh, this is something that Trump predicted in his first term in
Yep.
office, right? And
Uh,
then brought it up again.
yeah, he told the Europeans to get off of Russia oil and natural gas. You'd end
Yeah,
up
for a
regretting it.
bunch of reasons. Like, yeah, you need to stop being dependent on Russia in general. And they all laughed at him. And it's like, okay. And then they went and invaded Ukraine, and all them buying this fuel from Russia is funding the war,
Yep.
which we'll get into in a minute, in a while. But Putin actually just where is I got it down here. Uh, maybe I didn't show it anyway. Putin just basically issued bonds and yada yada for like a whole bunch of money to help pay for the war effort because right now Europe is cutting off Russia from buying their product.
Okay.
And hey, who are they going to buy natural gas from and oil from?
Us.
Yes, this sounds great, doesn't it?
Yep.
I still think though we should have a. Has Trump refilled the strategic reserve yet?
I don't. I hadn't heard if he had or not.
Neither have I, and I think he should get on this immediately. In fact, I would rather him take this $2,000 tariff dividend rebate thing
Hmm.
and put it into refilling the reserve because we need to have oil ready should war break out. We shouldn't have to go find it and get it.
Right.
And I don't know exactly how it's done, but I'm pretty sure they don't just have a one warehouse full of 1 billion barrels of oil, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it's not like they're all gonna get blown up at once. Uh shoot, okay. How was your weather the other day, dude?
Freezing. There we got snow flurries in the middle of the night.
We got about 8 inches of snow. It's mostly gone now, but an Arctic blast came down and
Yeah.
it got cold enough to knock iguanas out of trees in Florida.
There were people actually taking pictures around here the last 2 nights of the aurora borealis.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. We were having a good look at it too. We were pretty excited on the mountaintop, which I haven't brought it up in a while, but I think this is another sign that the poles are flipping, dude.
That'll mess up
Here,
GPS.
carry on. I need to handle something here.
All right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of, pretty much the whole country got really cold this last week. And I just saw an article saying that there was going to be a warming this weekend for much of the country back in the more normal temperatures because this is really early in the year for frigid temperatures, especially here in Virginia.
Yeah, I think before I went to bed, not even before I went to bed at like 9 p.m., I saw 19 and a half degrees. I was like, oh, that's chilly out there. And then watching my Floridian mother-in-law panic because it was snowing.
She didn't want to go out
Yeah,
playing it.
not even that. She's like, that plow truck gonna come by soon again. Oh my God, look at this. I was like, it's probably not even snowing over the entire county.
Right,
So they're actually focused here right now. This is as good as it's gonna get with plow coverage. I hope you know that. Like we are in rural America. We
right.
are the last ones to get plows when things go wrong. So I was like, yeah, I was like, so expect it when a real storm comes through. We,
You're
we
not
might
ready.
have to wait till you have 6 inches of snow for a plow to come through,
Right.
which you must have a four-wheel drive, period. And even in four-wheel drive, I wouldn't even try going down a mountain with 6 inches of snow on it. Are you kidding me?
No, not unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, and you'd be going very slow.
Yeah.
And this is something I want to tell everyone who's didn't learn how to drive in the snow and has gone into snow areas. Four-wheel drive is not the answer. Four-wheel drive is great if you get stuck for getting out, but if you start slipping on the road, now instead of one tire spinning because of like posit track, rear end differentials, whatever you want to call it, instead of one tire slipping, you now have four tires slipping and you start spinning in a circle across the road. And I'm sure you've seen this happen before out in Michigan, right?
Hmm.
You guys probably did it on purpose, screwing around in parking lots, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we did the same thing. Uh, Giuliani got pardoned.
Yep. Trump's
I
issuing
don't.
all kinds of people are getting pardons. So
Yeah, Giuliani was allegedly trying to overturn the election or something.
yeah, I mean, there's rumors that Gazelle is asking for a commutation of her sentence.
Okay. Daryl Strawberry got a pardon too. Uh, that he was tax evasion. He's paid all of his back taxes. He served some time. I don't know, whatever. He's
Yeah.
a baseball great,
Right.
you know.
Hmm.
Okay, did you see this shit? Okay, remember that video we talked about with the FBI released about the J6 bomber?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, I bet you it's a woman because of the way they bend to put something down instead of the
Right.
way a
Well,
dude would.
they used AI to study the walk, the gait.
Exactly. And it's something like a 94% match now with a former Capitol police officer. She was a Capitol police officer at the time, now CIA. I am not saying this woman's name because I don't have any evidence that this person, this actually, she's not even being accused.
Right.
And I've known, have you noticed a lot of these podcasts are coming right out and saying she's the bomber? I'm like,
No, because I
you
don't
are
listen to a
all
lot.
gonna get, yeah.
I don't listen to a
You
lot of
guys are,
different podcasts. So
it's true, true. But we'll see where this goes. And I just thought it was crazy because that story came out, and then immediately after, someone had to publish. We still have no idea who the J6 pipe bomber was.
of course, yeah, they're trying to cover their butts.
Hmm. You see this 50-year mortgage shit Trump floated?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Well, the numbers I was looking at doesn't look like it really lowered the monthly mortgage payment down that much, and it created a ton more interest. So it's great for the banks and the mortgage companies because it's going to make them more profitable. But for the average homeowner, I
E-
don't think it's making
Even
that big
your
a difference.
even your monthly bill doesn't go down by much.
No, the numbers I saw went
Really?
down by maybe $100.
Well, $100 out of what? Out of a $700 a month payment or a $2,500 a month payment, you know? Because I was like, geez, I was like, 50-year mortgage sounds crazy because I did a little bit of math on my own and I saw it's going to be 36 years before you even start paying principal on that loan.
Let me bring up the 50-year mortgage calculator. If they have, well, I think I've been scammed on that. There's no such.
For what I was for when I was hearing that it was supposed to make the monthly payment go way down, you just had to pay it forever. Problem is, not just is the bank going to make a butt ton of money on interest, you're not going to pay it off. And when you die, the bank is owed the amount of the rest of the money on the house or the house back, right?
Right.
So it's yeah, it sounds like the banks could make a ton of money out of this over the decades.
I'm, so I did AI. I used AI, and basically a 30-year fixed mortgage for a loan amount of $369,600 at a 6.33 interest rate. Your monthly payment would be $22.95 for 50 years for the same amount with a little bit higher interest rate, 6.83. You're going to pay 21.76. So you're saving a.
Whoa.
That's what I'm talking about. It's not because they're saying the interest rate on a 50-year mortgage is going to be typically higher. Um,
I know
and,
it sounds like it's two thirds as much. longer, you think you'd only be paying two-thirds as much a month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but the math isn't adding up. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that
not
math
worth
ain't.
it for saving $120 a month.
No, you're right. And that was the first thing I thought was this is a great way for the banks to make a ton of money, and then no one's ever actually full out pay for their house. Like their kids are either going to figure out how to pay for it or they have to give it back to the bank.
Yeah,
And then I thought, shit, though I could do a 50-year mortgage on a plot of undeveloped land, rent it out to hikers, campers, hunters year round. And that would bring it up to pay the mortgage if the mortgage itself would only be two-thirds of what it would have been anyway. But yeah, if it's only gonna be 100 something bucks cheaper, why not just do the 30 year and maybe finally own it one day, you know?
yeah,
That's unfortunate. I was just looking at like 100-acre plots too, just in case this went through. I was like, I see a way to make money out of this. Especially I was, you buy the land and even if you don't want to do it forever, you sell it off in 5 to 10 years,
right.
the price of property has only gone up. Uh, this Navy Fed parking lot thing, I thought this was like solved. Like I thought they put these guys in jail or something.
They're well, I don't know they're in jail yet, but they're still arresting people and indicting people on it. So,
They're basically just robbing them at the ATM.
yep. Now, sometimes it's not even an ATM. Sometimes it's just in the parking lot, and they're asking to use the people's phone and then taking out loans while they're on the phone and then transferring the money to their account.
Uh, yeah, you got to have some kind of security on your bank account on your phone, right?
Yep.
Oh, but you need my fingerprint to get into my phone. Yeah, and you think they're making a phone call and you just
Mm-hmm.
handed it off to someone.
Yep.
Man, yeah, I got passwords on everything like that on top of my getting into my phone stuff, you know?
Right.
I'm sure you do too, because you're just as aware as I how easy it is
Yep.
for passwords to get figured out.
As much as I hate two-factor authentication.
Yeah.
So there was a
Uh,
bomb threat today, a bomb threat investigation underway at the Virginia Beach courthouse.
Not much of an article. It basically just said it happened.
Yeah. And
I'm
then,
wondering what cases were being heard at that time.
right. And then, in more exciting news, the Virginia State Police were responding to a call of someone walking down I-264, and when one of them caught up to her and was talking to her, she refused to get off the highway and tried to run away from the cops. And when the cops caught up to her and started to arrest her, she pepper sprayed them.
That probably didn't end well for her, did it?
No, they all went to the hospital. And their charges are pending. So not only is she going to be charged with, being a pedestrian on a highway and resisting arrest, and
Now
now,
she assaulted officers.
yes, uh huh,
Yeah, that's which again, what's gonna happen? Is she gonna turn out to have been on drugs or did something traumatic just happen? She didn't know where she was and what was going on,
I
you
don't
know?
know that this, or we don't know that much information yet on it, so
Yeah.
too soon to tell.
Bunch of crazy shit going on in West Virginia. Well, I want to bring up one first that you shared, which I thought was hilarious, that West Virginia is the most diabetic state, which doesn't surprise me because I think it was like 2 weeks ago I brought up how it's the most overweight state too.
Right?
Uh, but check this out. I read this story about they're talking about building this $2.5 billion natural gas plant that's supposed to create a bunch of jobs
Mm-hmm.
and yada yada yada. And I was like, oh, all right, if you got somewhere to put it, create some jobs, and then sell the power from the power plant,
Yeah.
bring in some taxes. That's going to help everyone.
Right.
And I was kind of excited thinking about this, as long as you don't have to cut down the gorgeous mountains. So then I read this other article that this guy said, I hope the rest of West Virginia is watching. And I assumed he was going to say, you're going to cut down our trees and ruin our views and etc. Turns out they're building this power plant just to power a data center they want to build.
Uh,
Yeah. And I was like, oh. So yeah, for like storage or something. I was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
that's so you're gonna tear down dozens of acres to create this power plant and facility, and
Just for
it's
one
you're not
one
gonna be
place.
yeah to go exactly. It's not even gonna be able to help bring down the cost of power for the West Virginians, you know. So we'll see where that goes. I'm sure this will be in the news cycle. It's not as easy to keep up on local news around here, but I'll make an effort. One story I was able to keep up with since this started, a next county over from me, there was a mine collapse, like 260 feet below ground. It wasn't even necessarily a collapse, like an old wall had broken down and flooded the mines.
Yeah, there was water on the other side, so.
Yeah. Guy was missing for days, and he was finally found dead. His body was recovered. Um, he managed to get the rest of his crew out, though,
Hmm.
and he was a what would you say, something like 20-year veteran of coal
Yeah.
mining.
Yep.
Uh, I
Uh,
don't know what kind of life insurance policies these. I'm assuming the mining company has a life insurance policy on all
yeah,
of their people,
yeah,
right?
because it'd probably be next to impossible to get a personal life insurance policy as a coal miner.
Yeah, who's going to like? Yeah, I'll take that liability on.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you probably can't even get an accidental death policy because odds are it's a coal miner. That's the way you're gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. If you juggle sharp machetes for a living, good luck getting insurance, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, this is the second fatal cave-in or coal mining issue that's happened since I've moved here. I mean, I knew it was a dangerous job, but I didn't realize it was this common. But I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's our technology can only get so great at pulling stuff out of the ground. Sooner or later, something's going to shift, right? But, it's too bad. And anyone saying you shouldn't be mining coal anyway, then I hope you unplug your computer because it's plugged into the wall that's being powered by coal. Uh, Check this out. A study came out. West Virginia is the second most dangerous state to drive
Okay.
uh, in the rain or the snow. And that's got to be because of the mountain curves.
Probably.
I didn't even bother reading the whole article because I didn't care to see who number one was. It's probably something like Colorado or Alaska. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. Really are in the middle of nowhere and everyone's dying and there's no way to get anywhere. Uh, Speaking of people dying, they have this passport program, Go Ski West Virginia. It's like $40 and you get a season ticket to like four different big ski resorts in West Virginia, but it's only for like fourth and fifth graders.
Well, you know why that is, right?
Well, you get the kids excited about skiing when they're young, and then it costs a
Well,
shit
that
ton of money the
and
rest of their
parents
life
have
to
to
go skiing.
go skiing with the kids. So even if the kids are going for
Yes.
free, the parents have to buy ski passes and rent skis to go ski to watch the kids. So
Well, Snowshoe Mountain is one of the mountains on this list.
I've skied there.
S- Snowshoe's only an hour away from me. Like I could go every weekend with my daughter when she gets old enough if she wants to do that. And if you go and skiing that often, you're gonna buy yourself a season pass too, right?
Right.
At whatever the price is, $250,
Yeah.
and you probably own your own gear because there's no way you're renting every time you go.
Right.
And I do have my own ski gear, but I think my brother stole my really nice ski boots, and I'm upset because I have like my poles, my skis. And check this out. This was skis right before they made all skis parabolic. I actually had straight. I have straight skis. They're very difficult to find these days. But yeah, my both my boots are gone. Pretty sure he jacked them when I was away with the Navy.
Probably.
Whatever. They were just really nice ski boots. I'm sure you've been skiing a bunch of times. You know how all that stuff works, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day,
Yeah.
I can't really do it anymore. I'm getting too old and my knees don't like it.
That's what I'm worried about, dude. Last time I went skiing, I was up at J Peak in Vermont and I was doing triple black diamonds. Because we used to go skiing all the time in New England,
Right.
obviously,
Yeah.
right?
Uh huh. Yeah.
And it was so great though, like doing moguls in the glades. And now I'm like, if I try to do something like that, my knee would explode and I would impale my face on a tree and I would die like a fucking Kennedy, you know?
Or a Bono.
Yeah. Oh, all right, all right. Ooh. Oh, this is interesting. Um, there's more sports stuff coming up with rigging of these games. And this is baseball this time, right?
Yeah. Cleveland. What used to be the Indians, but now they're the Guardians.
Yeah. Do you remember several years ago it was brought up that all these sports are all staged and none of this shit's real anymore?
Yeah.
Everyone's going nuts for a while about it. Now we keep finding out all the athletes themselves are like rigging these games for bets.
Yeah. The prop bets.
Yeah, makes you wonder if you can trust it. Are you actually watching a hockey game or not? Which I haven't heard the NHL accused of anything yet, but I did get to watch a Bruins game the other day. Uh, okay, so Trump went to a game
Yep.
in DC, right?
Yeah. It
You
was
said you
in
watched the
D.C.
game.
Yeah. It was the Washington Lions game. I watched the game. There were more Lions fans there than there were Washington
Now,
fans.
I'm not surprised. The 10 kind of people that live in DC don't seem like professional football kind of people. You know what I
Well, and
mean?
the
Or
team's
that
only
live in the
won.
area.
They got a lot of injuries, and they've only won 3 games this season. So
Oof. But from what I understand, Trump got a lot of boos,
from
right?
the not from the Lions fans, but from the Redskins fans.
You have every right to boo at the president, which lets you know right there it's not some kind of dictatorship, right?
Yep.
But what pissed me off was he was swearing people into the military and they kept booing right through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Trump even talked about that during when he was up in the broadcast booth in the third quarter. He's like, "Yeah, that was uncalled for." Booing me is one thing,
Yeah.
but booing these people that are about to go off and risk their lives in the military is a whole other thing.
And even if you didn't like the president, if you're signing for the service and the president himself is swearing you
I'm
into
gonna
the
be. I'm doing
military,
it. I'm doing it.
that is an honor.
Yeah, because
Like,
you're not
like
very
this
many
what
people are going
just
to be able to say they were sworn into the military by the president of the United States.
yeah. Like I wasn't an Obama fan in general. He was when I started to finally realize the Democrats had been misleading me and lying to me.
Uh huh.
But if Obama had offered to sign my papers for reenlistment, I'd
Mm-hmm.
have been so excited to have the president do that, you know?
Yep.
And like I said, on Veterans Day, they were booing through people being sworn into the
Yeah.
military.
Yeah.
Why hasn't this not been the news? Why isn't this blown up every podcast, every conversation? Because Republicans suck at messaging.
Yeah. But they're good. The White House is pretty good at messaging because they're once again trolling the DC media by saying that they think that the new Commander Stadium should be named after Trump.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, you know
And
that's one big troll.
the White House, though, I think Trump knew enough that if he wants to appeal to these younger people, he needs younger people to do it. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm,
Nancy Pelosi's not going to be able to tell you how to get a white 18 to 25-year-old dude to vote her way.
no.
She just can't. So I'm betting you that I swear Donald Trump went out and hired the Twitter guy from the guy who handles social media accounts for Wendy's to start doing their social media, you know. And you know what I'm talking about. The Wendy's stuff has been hilarious over the years.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, but that's the thing though, is the White House is different than the Republican Party, and you know that.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yep,
MAGA is still a rift in the Republican Party, even though most of the Republicans have finally realized it's a winning team anyway, you know?
yep.
Speaking of though, what's going to happen when Trump's not on the ticket anymore? Midterm, are people going to show up to vote? Next president, are people going to show up to vote?
That's a good question. Depends on who the Republicans decide to run as president, what kind of charisma the person has,
They're
and
gonna run
uh,
JD Vance unless something crazy happens. You know
and
that
uh,
as well as I do.
and then also, it's just a matter of if well, how Trump feels about the candidate. If he gets behind him and campaigns for him, it's going to help him bring in the MAGA vote. So
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I noticed that at midterm last time, the Republicans didn't show up to vote because Trump wasn't on the ticket. And it might not have been the Republicans not showing up. Actually, I bet you the Republicans did show up. It was all the libertarians and the disaffected liberals that didn't bother to show up because Trump wasn't on the ticket.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I mean, how many people do you know, or at least I'm sure you know a couple, but I'm sure you've seen thousands of stories of people saying that they just had enough of the Democrat Party, and at least check out the other guys, you know?
right.
All right. The BBC, this took long enough, right?
Yep, sure did.
What's going on?
They followed CBS's example early on, and they did a misleading edit of a Trump speech. They basically, this is from January 6th speech, where they took part of his speech from earlier in the day and an hour later and put them together to make it sound like Trump was telling everybody to march on down to the Capitol building and fight, fight, fight.
Yeah, and they specifically cut out peacefully, make your voice heard. Exactly. They cut it up and yeah, was it, yeah, almost an hour, right? Apart of pieces they took and
Yeah,
stuck
and
together to make it sound like it was.
Trump threatened to sue him up for $1 billion, and big surprise, they apologized real fast, and
And the
people
people that were in charge of
they were
this
gone.
whole editing thing, they all quit over this. Which, okay, they resigned. You know what happened was they said you can resign now or you get fired. You know, which would you rather put on your resume for your next job? I got fired, or I
Right.
resigned over creative differences. You
Yep.
know, and I don't know why, but I guess there's some honor to admitting your fault and resigning as opposed to being fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess seems very old school, doesn't it? Uh, all right. It's funny you shared this article and I shared the same one uh, like the day before. This teacher, what ridiculous class was it called? Oh, the school is ridiculous. It's the local chapter of the American Association of University Professors, IU School of Social Work. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, but she said that MAGA is another word for white supremacy, and she was going on and on. And she had a whole bunch of words that were no longer allowed to be said because they're racist, like a bootstrap theory.
Yeah.
The idea that you can actually just work and get ahead, any kind of anti-immigration policies, paternalism, okay,
Eurocentric.
Eurocentric curriculum, English only at initiatives. Please killing anyone who isn't white is racist. Denial of your white privilege, denial of racism, celebrating Columbus Day, fearing people of color, expecting people of color to teach white people. First of all, if I don't expect people of color to teach white people, that means we're not allowed to have any people of color teaching in school,
Right.
right?
Uh-huh.
Uh, but she said color blindness is also racist.
You can't have it both
And the
ways.
assertion that we're just one human. Well, that's the thing. Uh, let me see if I can find the exact reason why she was hired. Because they went, oh, you know what? They went through the how she got hired in the article you had shared, and I didn't bother sharing it because most of them were the same thing.
Okay.
That stinks. I should have put them both in here, but it had a list of what her job was. And it was like knowledge of the interracial inter blah 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 blah. and basically went into this whole crazy theory of power, prejudice, hierarchies. So yeah, one of the students contacted a senator and it's like, she said I'm not allowed to be a white guy who supports a Trump and that I'm automatically evil. And it turns out that violates a whole bunch of the school's policies and federal law.
Right.
But now she's screaming that everyone's racist for calling her out for calling everyone
Of course.
racist, which self-fulfilling prophecy here, right?
Yep.
And I shared this one for you. Did you get a chance to read it? I know how much you like your View article every week. We could talk about how Sonny Hostin's been missing for a couple weeks or a week, and Whoopi finally addressed why, which we really can't because I saw that article like four times and skipped it. Uh, anyway, the View's all upset that Newsom was talking about the midterm election getting rigged because Trump wants
Gerrymandering
supervision at certain election sites. Huh?
and gerrymandering, but
Not in gerrymandering. He wants people there to make not even the gerrymandering. He wants Trump wants someone at certain polling stations to make sure no one's showing up with boxes full of ballots in like three states. And the Democrats are flipping out about how this is going to change the election results.
well, of course it
And
is
I'm
because
like,
they're not going to be in
unless you actually
their
are
boxes of
cheating,
ballots.
yeah, yeah. I was like, unless you actually are cheating, how is this going to change the election results? Like, are you guys like doing dual slit experiments in these booths, and by simply observing it, you're changing the reality around it? You're not familiar with the dual slit experiment, are you?
No.
Uh, quick little cover up because it's a fascinating thing. It comes from Einsteinian relativity, but they were trying to find out if light was a wave or a particle. So they set up two slits in like a wall basically and shot light beams at it and measured what showed up on the other side. And if they did it and didn't watch where like exactly what was happening, it would show up with a wave pattern of like they would overlap between when they come out the other side of the slits. But when they watched it happen, they had a specific spot where the light particle hit.
Okay.
So observing it goes down to like a quantum theory of everything's all waveforms until there's a measurement. Um, Schrodinger's cat, it's alive and dead until you open it up and find out. Tree falls in the woods and there's no one around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. All the same general theory there. But but yeah, anyway, the simple act of observing the dual slit experiment changes the outcome. That makes me wonder: is this how they're voting? Because how else is someone watching the vote going to affect the vote?
Right.
You think in your private little booth, someone's going to come in there and like rip you out and shoot you in the head for voting the wrong way?
No.
You got a little curtain behind you, don't you?
No.
When you vote, you don't get a little curtain behind. Oh
No. You
no,
just
you
got
know what?
little. We got
You
little
probably
walls, and we take our ballot and we threw it, put it in the scantron.
yeah. I was going to say I last several times I've done a vote. It's been you fill your vote out sitting at a table, and then you go put it in a scantron.
Yep.
I do remember though walking in, pulling the curtain behind me,
I did.
filling in the bubbles,
Yeah. When
and
I
then taking
was
that and
high
putting it in the.
school, we did it that way.
I think
And
when I first moved to Massachusetts, I voted that way. I filled it out by hand behind the thing, and then fed it into the scantron.
and when I first was doing it, we had a machine. You just went and pulled levers, and it tallied the votes up, and you never had a piece of paper or anything.
Crazy here in West Virginia when I voted. It was just a big open room with like a fold out table. You would have like a picnic, like the white ones with the legs that come out.
Hmm.
Uh, and you would go get a ballot. You check your name in, whatever. They verify your identity or whatever.
Yeah.
You take your ballot and go sit at this one big table and fill in your votes. Just sit next to whoever else might be there. And the wife at the time was like, "How? This seems kind of like it's not private." I was like, "There's like 30 people who vote here. Chances of them all being here at the same time
Uh,
is very low."
right,
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember asking about one of the particular things and asking her like, "Well, what exactly am I voting on here?" She's like, "Well, what's your view?" And I explained it to her, and I was like, I thought this was the whole thing we're supposed to be trying to avoid, was me trying to have to explain my view in a vote."
right.
But whatever, whatever. It's all a bunch of freaking Trump derangement syndrome. And here's the question: did the TDS lead to the propaganda, or did the propaganda lead to the TDS?
Probably the propaganda led to the TDS.
They made us think he was some kind of Soviet asset before it even got started.
Yeah,
Uh, I didn't share this one. It might have been you or Guapo. Must
I
have been you or
did.
Guapo, but
Yeah, well,
Billy
Billy
Bob.
Bob Wharton came
Okay, yeah.
out and said he doesn't care about award shows anymore. He thinks they're stupid, a waste of time, and he wants to keep politics out of them. That's that might be one of the main reasons why people don't watch them anymore. Is because there's two sides to every political view, and we don't really care what the actors think because they're actors. We just care about whether they're good actors or not.
Yeah, like, and you know what? If you wanted to put your political views out there, start at this day and age, start a podcast, right?
Yeah,
People that want to hear political view can tune into it, but you can still go to your show and thank your producers and all the little people along the way who went and got me a sandwich when we were recording or something,
yeah, hmm
instead of I think we should all just light Donald Trump supporters on fire, you know?
right.
All right. Oh, this is a different school, but that we talked about before. But this is the third time a TPU chapter tried to start one of these California schools, and it's been denied a third time.
This is a Christian
Uh,
school too, right? Yeah,
is this the same
Point
school?
Point Loma Nazarene. It's a Catholic university.
Why would a Catholic school not allow conservative opinions into their school?
They're saying that the views of TPU USA do not reflect the university.
I think maybe the university, it's a Catholic school. They must not be paying attention to what Charlie Kirk and TPUSA have actually done, because he's constantly explaining his and his views and opinions
Yeah,
on what Jesus said and did, to the point that people actually got offended by it a lot.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was crazy. And how many times are these kids gonna try?
Well, they were already rejected twice in 2021. So same school.
Yeah, this one just got shut down again, right? Yeah, third one got denied too. I don't know how many are they going to keep trying because screw you, or are they going to be beaten at submission in California?
I don't know.
I think you shared this one too, Joe Rogan thing.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Did you actually listen to like any of that part of the show?
No, not this one. No, but I've heard his views on this before. I was actually listening to the episode with Charlie Sheen when Charlie was shot.
I wasn't listening to one that happened, but I saw it within 12 hours.
I wanted to listen
Everyone
to
was
it
like, "What was
live,
Joe
but I
Rogan
listened
doing when
to
Charlie Kirk
I
was shot?"
I didn't realize that was going to be on the episode. I was really intrigued to hear Charlie Sheen talk about where he's come from in the last decade. And it
Yeah, I
was
haven't seen him in a while. You're right.
no, he chose family over fame and drugs. So because his daughter basically, it's like, why can't you drive me any place anymore? Why? He couldn't because he was drunk at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
So it was a wake up call for him. But yeah, he basically said that people celebrating this Charlie Kirk's assassination shows that America's well on its way to a civil war.
I think it's already begun, dude. Um, I mean, we didn't use the word civil war in this country until like 2 years after the what we now see as beginning of the American Civil War. And this next one won't be the same as the first one. It's not going to be lines of soldiers in a field. It's going to be bombs going off and assassinations, right?
Right.
And that we're already seeing that. And again, you keep telling me that the right is far more violent, but and then they quote stats, but they don't realize that these stats they're quoting is counting a white supremacist in prison in his little white supremacist gang in federal prison getting into a fight with a black gang. They count that as right wing violence. But the guy that was seen during the Summer of Love was that here's another Trump supporter, pop, pop, and shot him dead. Didn't count as political violence. You know, it's like we're seeing this violence happening. They're just not counting it as political violence. Like, dear God, how many people got their cars wrecked over Elon Musk?
Right.
Oh, there you are. All right. I was like, uh-oh, either Brian's frozen or I am. But yeah, I mean, how many cars got wrecked because of Elon Musk? And it's like, you told us to buy these cars because they're good for the environment.
Yeah.
And then apparently, Katie Couric, I keep forgetting she's still doing this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, I hear her name come up. Like, I've been hearing her name since I was like 15 years old,
Doesn't
you
she have
know?
a podcast?
Who doesn't have a podcast, Brian?
It was a
Who
screenshot from
doesn't?
YouTube, so apparently she's got a YouTube channel too. So
Yeah, especially if they're on TV, definitely want on YouTube. They want you to see them, you know? But she was trying to get Fetterman to like condemn Charlie Kirk, and Fetterman's like, "Are you kidding me?"
oh yeah, it was on her
It's like, what did he do
podcast.
that was so
It,
bad?
it was on her video
And
podcast.
and someone went and killed him. Was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
It was on her video podcast.
I was trying to ask what you. Oh, oh, there you go.
Your internet's really bad right now.
Yeah, I know. Actually, it's funny because I keeps bouncing between awesome and terrible signal. Makes me wonder if my mother-in-law is turning on and shutting off 1,000 different devices at once,
Probably. Yeah.
eating up my bandwidth. How do I make this work? But yeah, I like Fetterman more and more. Uh, I disagree with almost everything he says,
Uh huh.
but he's an honest guy and he's a real guy.
And he was one of
And
the first Democrats to vote to open the government back up.
yeah, I understand why the Republicans use that as much as they could, but
Well, the
you know
Democrats
why
tried to use it
they
as much as
usually
they could too. This is the first time in my
like
lifetime that I remember that the Republicans not caving on the shutdown, and we may have lost Jeffrey. Oh, he's back. Did you hear anything I said?
gee,
I said that this is the first
right,
time in
yeah,
my
right, yeah, he
lifetime.
was, yeah, the Republicans weren't the ones to cave.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a good laugh because now I'm seeing everywhere how these eight Democrat congressmen uh, turned their backs on the people and voted.
But they didn't turn their backs on the people
Uh,
because
yeah, a bunch of these Democrats.
they got the government open and paychecks rolling again.
Well, but here's the thing: they
And
said the
what
Republicans
they're
are the
not
ones
talking
stopping the
about these
government from
stupid,
opening, and
these
but
COVID
now that it's
subsidies
open, they're
that
blaming a handful.
the COVID subsidies that got voted in to help people make the Obamacare so much more affordable um, were voted for in the in one of Biden's his big law thing he pushed through, the IRA,
And then there's been a continuing resolution since then.
and it was always a temporary thing. It was never the only way. In order to keep it, under their budget rules, they made it temporary, and now everybody's freaking out that, oh, we got to keep it going, we got to keep it going, so people can afford Obamacare. Well, what happened to the name? Nobody calls it the Affordable Care Act anymore
Yes,
because it's
exactly.
not affordable. It never has been affordable, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
No, exactly. We need to keep dumping it. What they wanted $1.5 trillion. Is that what it was?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's like, dear God, if you need another $1.5 trillion, then it's not affordable. Okay.
Right.
I don't know any other way to put this. We could do so many things to progress this country to the point where everyone could afford health insurance if we would use this money for something fucking productive.
Yep.
Oh my God. Which speaking, it's in leftovers, but it's at Blue Origin. Is that Elon Musk's company?
No, that's John
The
Bezos.
Bezos. I thought it was the Virgin guy. He just launched some shit to go to Mars.
Yep. He's trying to be
Uh,
he's trying to be Elon to Mars.
No, this is so much better than the space race between countries. Because no, now the taxpayers aren't funding this shit, but we're gonna do it because two freaking pompous, arrogant billionaire assholes want to be the one who did it first.
Well, they also have a
This is
contract for the third moon landing with astronauts on it.
yeah, yeah. Why? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just asking what is the reasoning behind it.
I don't know. There's no to get
Do we have
astronauts
something we want to do?
landing on the landing places again.
Well, I'm
Maybe
saying
they're
one, it
gonna
can't be cheap.
if they were smart. I've seen a lot of sci-fi shows. They use the moon for a launching pad. So you build a base up there, and then you launch your big, huge space explorations from the moon.
Well, see, I think they've misused that theory a lot. Because like we'll build a station here to launch to Mars. Yeah, you're not that much closer. And what you would use the moon for is to build an arc because there's less gravity. You could build a much bigger vessel easily and those small lower gravity, and then you could take 10,000 people out into space to go find a new planet.
Right. I
Just
just
I don't know.
I saw it pop up my
I've listened
feed,
to
and I thought Elon would launch the first spacecraft and this is a NASA spacecraft. So even though NASA's got their name on it, basically.
how did NASA get involved? Maybe shared information with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can accept that. But, hey, we'll give you all the data we have on how to get to Mars if you're actually gonna go do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just put our decal on your fucking NASCAR when you go, right?
Yep.
I'm very excited about this though. 2027, they
It'll
should
get
be
there.
landing. Uh,
Hopefully, we're still doing a podcast then.
yeah, you know, this show it's going to change again soon. I was going to bring this up when we were done. End of the year is coming up. We do a change every year. I don't know if you've noticed that.
No.
Uh, well, local came out of that. The predictions was one of those. Recently dead celebrity was one of these. We
Okay.
usually introduce and phase out a thing, but
Okay. And
uh,
on the bad people.
yeah, there are so many bad people, dude, and that's why we can't have socialism and communism, right?
Right.
If everyone shared a point of view, then we would all share goods with each other to help each other. But the problem is this guy in Maine. Graham Plattner.
Yep.
Check this out. He called all rural Americans racist and stupid. And then he went on, was like, well, I grew up in rural America.
So you're racist
First of
and
all, you grew up in
stupid.
rural Maine. Yeah, well, he grew up in rural Maine. It's like maybe just rural Maine is racist and stupid, right? Because I'm telling you, life here in rural West Virginia is not the same as rural Maine. I've spent a lot of time in both. Used to go to Maine all the time. This is going to make me sound stupid rich, but it not really. My family, until very recently, owned an island off the coast of Maine.
Nice.
It had been in the family since like guy went out those stakes and plotted his land. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Uh, Last piece of it finally got sold off like 2 years ago. Uh, but we used to go up there all the time, and it was there's nothing out there, and like no one was on the island. And so you go off the island to go do stuff, and it was the middle of nowhere, coastal, frozen Maine.
You could have sold it to
It is
Jeffrey
not.
Epstein.
I don't know where he's from.
Sounds like
Don't
his
get me wrong.
kind of island.
Don't get me wrong. I loved Maine. Oh yes, I used to go skiing and rafting in Maine all the time. But the locals there are very different than the locals here in West Virginia. You know what I mean? And this, you have an idea of how middle of nowhere I am because I showed you the GPS pictures at one point, didn't I?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and you're like, oh yeah, you're right. There's nothing out there. That's just trees.
Yep.
But anyway, this Graham Plattner guy,
He's an idiot. Sad thing is, he's
yes,
probably going to win the election.
is saying that he would lose to the Republican candidate, which right now I believe there's a Republican in office in
Okay.
that seat. But he's not even running as a Democrat. I believe he's running as a socialist.
Same
I
thing.
believe. Well, yeah, but that gives you an extra ticket, an extra name on the ticket that's going to split votes from the Republican
Uh huh.
too, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Republican's going to win because the Democrats going to split between Democrat and socialist.
Yep.
This guy's a piece of garbage. Uh, he's saying all these people are racist, and I'm from there, and that's how I know it. It's like, dude, you got a Nazi tattoo. Do you know anyone else who has a Nazi tattoo?
No.
You know,
No.
no, no. Have you ever met anyone with a Nazi tattoo?
No, I don't think so.
No, exactly. You didn't even come across them in a dark alley one night. You know what I mean? It's like they're just not out there. And then one shows up in Maine and runs for office. Now, I got a good laugh. You shared this article, and I read it really well to make sure I understood it.
Yeah.
What did you get out of this? And I want to give you my take. They're holding a
Well,
climate fest
yeah,
in like Brazil or something.
in Brazil, who they pretty much wiped out the rainforest in Brazil. Because they deforested the rainforest, and now the climate festival that's happening down there. They're not talking about deforestation anymore.
Oh, it says they're there to end deforestation.
Okay. They didn't do a
Well,
very good job.
not only did you rip down most of the rainforest in Brazil, and for what, honestly, and what did they get out of this land? What has
No,
Brazil done with where the rainforest used to be, right?
I have no idea. Probably nothing.
Exactly.
I don't think
But
Brazil's not known for their tourism, except for Rio de Janeiro, and I don't think that's
yeah,
part of the rainforest.
yeah. Well, and what's crazy is they tore down a bunch more of the forest to build this giant like convention center to hold this deforestation conference at. No, and then ripped up enough to build a 4-lane highway to and from it.
Oh, I missed
It's like,
that. Yeah, that's
why
stupid.
didn't you just do this in like New York City or Tokyo or Shanghai? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, I don't think you could
I
do a
just
climate. I don't think you could do a climate festival in China. I don't think that would go over very well. They're the number one polluter in the world.
I don't know.
So
I bet the Chinese would love the money. They wouldn't give a shit. They wouldn't change anything, but they would bring in a bunch of money from all these people coming to their country, rich
in their private
people
jets.
coming to their country. I think the Chinese would love to do it. Then drive on the 4-lane highway. Uh,
Hypocrites.
but yeah, exactly. I thought the private jets were bad. It's like now you're ripping up rainforests to put in highways to get to and from the giant complex you built for this. But yeah, okay. So you don't want to do Shanghai, but you can do Tokyo, New York City, Toronto,
Yeah.
Mexico City, right? Like, like, why can't I think of the capital of South Africa? Now I
Cape
want to say
Town.
Jonesboro, but I'm pretty sure that was a
Is it
West Baptist church that
Cape
did
Town?
K Town.
Cape Town.
All right,
I don't know.
Cape Town. All right. Yeah, I don't know either. Whatever. Uh, all right. You see this? This came across my newsfeed 3 separate times. I shared it the first time.
Yeah, Cape Town is the
A guy
capital.
got arrested for beat Cape Town.
Well,
This guy got
it
arrested for
actually has
beating
three. Go ahead.
the.
It's stupid. They've actually got three capitals in South
No, no,
Africa.
go ahead. No, no, no. This guy
They've got one for the judiciary,
really what?
one for the executive
Okay,
branch, and one for legislature. And the only one you've ever heard of is the one for the legislature, Cape Town. They've got Bloemfontein for judiciary and Pretoria for the executive branch. I guess they wanted to keep their
interesting. Not many
government.
countries have more than one.
Yeah, I guess they keep it separate that way for some.
Brazil is the only other country. Brazil is the only other country I can think of that has more than one capital. You got Rio de Janeiro and Brasilia. Anyway, this guy was arrested for beating up this woman,
Yep.
and he was hit with like domestic charges. So I'm guessing I'm assuming he lived with her. It didn't go into detail, but he was released under his own recognizance, just told, "Don't go back and
Is,
harass this woman."
was it a George
6 hours later, he
Soros
was picked up.
district attorney that was doing the charging?
Oh, you're right. You shared this too, didn't you? And it was a George Soros funded attorney. I had forgotten that.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was picked up 6 hours later, beating the same woman while she was holding an infant. So there we go.
I bet he
You
got
know,
back
like
out again.
we're letting the worst people go.
Yeah.
You know, I, you know what's crazy is I bet I get more in trouble for doing something stupid with my legal firearm in West Virginia as a legal gun owner than than doing something stupid with an illegal gun
Right.
in Chicago
Oh yeah. Definitely.
because they'll allow me to carry a weapon here, but they expect me to do it properly, you know?
Right. Uh
Uh, oh, Roblox. This is new to me. I've heard of it recently. I guess
You're gonna
it's
find
some
out
kind of
more
like
about
gaming
it.
platform like Discord. Used to be.
It's for kids. It's like Minecraft. It's another version of
Oh, I
Minecraft.
thought it was a. It's a game. I thought it was a way. Never mind. I thought it was like Discord where you would share stuff through
No, no,
Discord about.
it's a game. Yeah.
Okay. So this guy in Florida was trying to bang kids
Yep.
through this
Uh huh.
game, I guess.
Yep. Uh huh.
Um, I just I don't know what to say about these people. Like, I guess the best way to handle this is for parents to teach their kids the difference between the internet and the in real life. You know?
Yeah, that's easier said than done.
Yeah, especially in dense areas. Like, it's a lot more difficult for someone to come to my children where I am versus in like New York City. You know what I mean? This one got me. This Texas dude was being brought up with oh, this is the Soros-backed prosecutor. My
Okay. All
mistake,
right. Okay.
Brian, not the other
I
one.
knew there was one of them that was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy's looking at 9 felony counts of diddling kids, and he pled guilty to one charge of like endangering a minor, and he got 5 years of probation suspended. Which what's crazy means is if he screws up with like a speeding ticket for 5 years, he then goes on probation. So he's literally got, as long as he doesn't screw for 5 years, this just
Right.
goes away.
Uh huh. Oh yeah, you're right. Deferred probation.
What the
So
hell,
he's
dude?
not even on. So yeah, he gets in trouble and all he does is go on 5 years of probation, no jail time or anything. That's a hell of a deal for him.
Yes, it is. Dude, if I get in trouble for something dumb, here's the problem is I don't touch kids, you know?
No.
But if I get in trouble, I need George Soros to pay for my attorney too, right?
Yeah. Uh huh.
I just have to say it's because I hate Trump, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Uh, and it's funny. The wife had seen this article. The first trans lawmaker in the United States legislature, which I'm assuming means Congress, because they would have said senator, right?
Yep. Uh huh. It could be a
Is
state thing too. Could be. Is it?
no, it's federal. It said
Okay.
U.S.
All right. And it's
It
Congress.
Yeah, and it's in there. It tells you the state and everything.
New Hampshire.
Okay, yeah. So born man, became a woman. Stacey Marie Lawton,
Is this her mugshot?
yeah, with a bald head.
Yeah.
Yeah, mugshot for what? Admitting to, is that the
She
same as
doesn't look
pleading
like a
guilty?
Stacy. I guess she didn't go through any
Really?
hormone treatments or anything.
No, no, just said I'm a woman now.
Yeah.
But yeah, just admitted to like diddling kids.
Yep.
So, that's always exciting.
People like that should be castrated.
Well, the problem, Brian, is the drug we use to chemically castrate child offenders is the same drug we use to delay puberty for children.
Okay.
No, it really is.
But you know what I'm
It's just a
saying?
different.
There needs to be jail time ain't enough for people like
Actually, cut their
this.
balls off.
Yeah, yeah. Make them a
Yeah,
eunuch.
none of this castration shit. We're actually gonna cut it off. Okay,
Yeah.
you're not doing this again. Uh, so what happened here with the International Olympic Committee? Like they did a 180 so fast on this
I
transgender
think
women
that
thing.
has something to do with Trump. You know, we
You
got
think
the
so, or
LA
did it have to do
Olympics
with that?
coming up, so
I wonder if it had anything to do with that boxer who kicked the crap out of all those women and then didn't win anyway. You watched some of that, didn't you?
yeah, yeah,
Everybody watched it. It
yeah,
was,
brutal.
yeah, everybody watched that dude beat the shit out of those poor women. uh, and okay, Fort Lauderdale. It's always Broward County, isn't it?
Uh huh.
The mayor was attacked by ex-partner and drug across the street, which as soon as it says ex-partner, it would have said ex-girlfriend,
Yeah.
right?
Uh huh.
You know that. But yeah, anyway, this dude just like came and violated restraining order, came and kicked his butt and then like drug him across the road and kicked his ass some more. I don't know what you did to piss that dude off, which that does not make it okay to just kick someone's ass like that, especially when they're mayor.
No. Uh uh.
But this shit always happens in Broward County in Florida. Because Florida man's story is so much better, so much more entertaining when it's some redneck Republican. trying to fight an alligator, isn't it?
Right.
Uh, all right. Senate Demo. Oh, yeah. The shutdown. We
Yeah.
we can probably skip a couple of at least one of these articles.
More than
What
one. Yeah.
exactly happened? I know the shutdown isn't.
So
Well, yes.
there was an agreement in place by 8 senators to vote for a semi-clean bill, clean CR. It wasn't really clean because the Republicans agreed that Trump was going to hire back all the people he laid off and fired during the shutdown. So all those
Can
jobs
the
are coming
Congress
back.
promise that?
Huh?
Can the Congress promise that, or is Trump signing it? Make that promise.
Well, Trump signed it into law, so
Okay, so that made okay. Okay.
yeah. So they get their jobs back. They're not getting canned yet. I'm sure Trump will look for another way to get rid of them. But
Yeah, he's already got a list of names he's ready to get rid of.
yeah, and and so you know that's pretty much they didn't agree to anything with the subsidies for Obamacare or anything like that. In this, they agreed that they would be brought up
They
for a
promised to
vote.
revisit it, right?
They're going to revisit it down the road, and the Democrats that didn't vote for this were freaking out. It's like, well, a promise doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. Blah blah blah. And why do people say that? Because how many times have you done that to the Republicans? The shoe was on the other foot this time. I mean, I really think that they were dragged out the shutdown until after the election to drive up voters to come and vote against Republicans, and it obviously worked in every state.
Yeah, you say that, but those were all blue states anyway. Virginia was gonna hire uh, a Democrat mayor. You know it, uh, because they do more often than not. And right now, you have a Republican mayor. They were gonna go the other way. New Jersey, you expected any different? New York, you expected any different? You know,
Yeah. Well,
and
and
it's not.
and then the DNC just came out and said that they're expecting their employees to work in office 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. No more working from home. And
Well, they
apparently
must have shit their pants
they
because doesn't that make
did.
you a fascist?
They did because this was announced on Zoom, and there were thousands of down arrow, down thumbs emojis and stuff like that. But I mean,
Fire
COVID's
them all.
over. I mean, I think there should be some flexibility for some days to work from home, but working from home is not nearly as productive in the most for most instances as is working collaboratively in an office, unless you have some kind of specialized job you're doing.
Especially a government job. We
Yes.
all know that most government employees do as little as they can and keep their job,
Yeah.
right?
But I don't
I
think
mean,
these are technically government employees. They work for the DN, the Department of Democrat National Committee, but still, same
same
concept.
difference,
Yeah.
same idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, and and there you go. If you want your party to win, maybe you guys should actually get together versus doing a Zoom call instead of walking down the hall and knocking on Maggie's office and
I mean,
hey Maggie,
they can wear their face masks in the office. Nobody's going to say anything to them for not wearing their face mask. I
unless
still see people driving around here in Hampton. One person in the car with their face mask on. I still see it. It's utterly ridiculous. They're keeping themselves safe from themselves.
I love how we brought that up as soon as it happened. Like right away, we're like, "Do you laugh at the person alone in the car wearing a face
I
mask?"
still, I still do. I'm like,
What do you think you were doing right now? You know,
who are you protecting?
you're just breathing in less oxygen with each breath you take. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my God. Yeah, just crack the window, buddy. Well,
Yeah.
then I'm trailing it out everywhere. It's like, well,
it will dissipate in the air.
Even if it didn't, that just means you're filling your car full of this and having a giant bomb you're setting off when you open the door. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
kind of like um, hot box in the car.
Instead of leaving the window open, driving down the road. It's funny. I've always heard hot boxing. We used to call it fish bowling.
Okay, different generation.
Well, maybe, but we used to put a literal fish bowl over our head, uh, and you'd start smoking. And then when it got too thick for the your J to stay lit, you would pick the bowl up enough to take a rip, and then put it back down. You keep exhaling and breathing in through the bowl.
Uh,
And yeah, the smoke sat around your head.
yeah, we didn't do anything like that. We just
Yeah.
no fishbowl on
Maybe
my
it was
head.
just yeah, maybe it was just
That's a Massachusetts
southeastern
thing.
Massachusetts. Yeah, it might have been back in the day when we used to have individual cultures across this country. The internet has destroyed that. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing, but we used to have certain things you would do in certain areas that you didn't see in other
Yeah,
areas, you know?
yeah.
All right. Oh, this is a good one. We talked about this a while ago with the was it St. Peter's flag? Uh, the actual flag of England.
Okay.
It's the white with a red. It looks almost like a cross, but it's not really a cross. It's two red stripes. Uh, this guy, I don't know. I don't. He might be the prime minister of England. I don't know
Uh,
how any of this shit
I don't
works.
even know who
Honestly,
that is anymore.
yeah, their way of setting up their government and everything they do is so weird with the entire United Kingdom and the Commonwealth and individual countries and what the Jesus Christ. Call yourself one country and each of you is a fucking state. How is that? You know? But anyway, he's saying if our flag offends you, maybe you might be in the wrong country. Apparently, it's getting worse. People are taking this, people waving their national flag as like a hate symbol, and it's creating quote no-go zones. And it's like, dude, if the flag of the
This
country,
guy is a local reporter.
hmm,
Um, Started out a local reporter, then he moved to London and became covered Brexit. He's been to Syria, Iraqi borders, and
so he's actually on the site of this news.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's like, why'd you come here if the flag of this country offends you? If the people that live here offend you, why would you come here? And I think it's pretty obvious. They're taking over. They've
They're
invaded,
trying
and
to
you've
take
been
over.
conquered.
Yeah, yep,
Just like Dearborn, Michigan, you've been conquered.
yep.
You get called the prayer 5 times a day. They've installed their own theocracy within the United States.
And the state of Michigan's allowed it.
The United States allowed it. You're not allowed to do that, I thought. Or is it only the United States themselves not
I have no
allowed to be
idea.
theocratic?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Back to Governor Newsom, he had to pull thousands of commercial driver's licenses because they were issued illegally.
17,000.
Issued illegally to foreign truckers.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I saw a dozen stories after this came out because the DOT showed up and did an audit, found 17,000 licenses that were illegally issued for commercial drivers. Uh, all these articles that came after the fact said, "Oh, California found this issue and have, given them until the first of the year or whatever to surrender the licenses." And it's like, that's not what happened at all.
Right.
California did this shit and they got caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
After these other accidents, you didn't think there was going to be some kind of freaking let's go have a look,
Right.
you know? And oh, federal government has no authority in California.
Well,
Fuck you.
if
Your
it's a
commercial driver's
commercial
license is across
trucking
state
drive, if it's a
lines.
commercial driver's license for trucking, yes, they do.
Exactly. You're operating on federal roads and you're crossing state lines. So already this new Department of Treasury Secretary, I don't even know who it is already doing a better job than Buttigieg.
I don't know who it is either, but nobody.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
the only
only
reason we
use
knew about him is because he was the former mayor of someplace in Indiana.
Yeah, but the only reason why we knew he was the Secretary of
Because
Transportation
he was on maternity leave.
was because he wasn't there when yeah, he went, oh, we adopted a baby. I'm taking paternity leave. And he was never there. And then what? How many trains derailed?
A bunch.
Ryan's frozen again.
I'm not frozen.
Yeah,
You're the one
yeah,
freezing.
but
I've
a
got
bunch of
perfectly
trains.
good internet. My router is
I
routed.
know, but if I'm assuming when you freeze that you can't hear me because I'm got bad connection.
Yeah, I mean I'm hardwired into the router, so
A bunch of truckers got arrested in Indiana in the same crackdown. Uh, this is Operation Midway Blitz. It hit Chicago hard too, but the main focus is Indiana interstate roads, like federal roads, and they arrested, yeah, like I said, 146 truckers with illegal licenses that shouldn't be in this country.
so when the licenses get taken away, do they get deported at the same time?
That's an excellent question because a judge recently just released a whole bunch of people in Chicago, didn't they? Like 300, like 300 illegal immigrants that were picked up by ICE were just released by a judge claiming we had an agreement that you wouldn't do these certain things so close to wherever. The
Right.
federal government's like, we never agreed to any of that shit, and you just turned loose a whole bunch of people we've been looking for,
Uh huh.
and they're scattered to the wind.
Yeah.
Uh, Chicago police finally got involved to help the federal government in terms of immigration. Bunch of shots fired at it was ICE agents, was it, or just as yeah during immigration protests, federal agents. Chicago police actually got involved to do something that's better than Portland. Portland just turned their backs,
Yeah.
you know. Uh, yeah, and we're not in a civil war, right?
No, not at all.
Uh, it was a good one. Did you see the Latin Kings?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're authorizing some shooting directive. Is this the one at Pam Bondi or all federal agents?
I know it's in Chicago. All federal targeting federal agents.
Yeah, this is not the first gang because the cartel offered something similar, and that lets you know right there.
They're doing something right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We're not doing anything wrong if we're gonna stop the federal police from enforcing the law, right?
Right.
Yeah, and look, most of these gangs are pushing drugs. That's what they do. That's how they make their money.
Yep.
And it's not Panama. Let me
Venezuela.
find the country. No. I know it is Panamanian. Panama just had a 13.2 ton seizure of cocaine. It was headed to the US. They said it's the biggest seizure they've had since 2007.
In Panama?
Yeah.
Well, there's probably a reason for that.
Well, it's on the way from Colombia to the United States, right?
Yeah, I'm sure Panama, for the most part, turns a blind eye to this kind of thing. But since Trump's gotten involved, they got to
Got
step
blowing
up
shit
their.
up.
Yeah, they don't want to get blown up too, so they got to step up their enforcement game a little bit. Just a little bit.
Maybe 13.2 tons of blow.
What's the street value on that?
Uh, I'm not sure, but it does have individual doses listed in this article
Okay.
somewhere. 13.2 million individual doses.
Okay. Is that
Yeah,
grams?
that's
8 balls?
well, I don't know. Well, I wouldn't consider an 8 ball a single dose. Your heart couldn't handle that, Brian. You know it.
Not anymore.
You still know where to get blow?
No.
No. No.
No. Too old.
I didn't ask if you still got it. I just wondered if you still knew some way you could get it. Because I wouldn't know where to get anything around here. But if I were to go back to like the Hampton Roads area, I could find drugs and illegal stuff. If I went back to Massachusetts, I could find this stuff because I knew people to contact, you know?
Yeah. So Denver is following Massachusetts,
How
and
so?
they're getting rid of
Oh,
flavored vapes, menthol cigarettes, and other flavored nicotine products in Denver.
and that made me laugh because wasn't Colorado one of the first states to legalize pot?
Yeah, well, pot's better than cigarettes, according to them.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. You can get gummy bears full of pot that'll get you tripping your nuts off for 6 hours,
But this is only
but you
Denver,
can't.
so I mean, you literally can leave the city of Denver and get all this shit. Still, not like Massachusetts, where it's statewide.
Yeah, it blows my mind that you're gonna do it for cigarettes, but not for pot.
Right.
Because like, oh, it encourages children to use these products. And it's like, what? Uh, oh, which one is this? Oh, okay. That's why all these smoke shops are leaving Denver.
Yeah.
Seattle had an election recently too, and no one's been bringing it up, but they got a new mayor coming in soon too, who's
She's similar
also
to
a
Madami.
socialist.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And she
What
said
got
she's
me
not
is
going to allow private grocery stores to close. How is she going to enforce that?
that's what got me. uh, as soon as because I was listening to someone talk about this on one of these podcasts, and it's like, oh, won't let them close. It's like, what do you mean? Won't let them close? How? Okay, so they're losing money. They have to stay open and keep losing money. Like,
Is she going to
are you literally?
pay him to stay open?
Are
No.
you are you saying this is slave labor? You need to continue doing this. I don't care if you're not making any money. You're going to do this for us.
Yeah.
These people have no idea what they're talking about. They
No, they're
can't just pack
stupid.
up and leave. We're going to make groceries affordable. Everyone can get fresh food, not just the rich. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can, you can get like fresh lettuce at your local grocery store. You just have to like check the dates on them.
Yep.
You don't have to go to Whole Foods to spend 3 times as much money.
No.
I'm sure when you go grocery shopping, you check the dates on everything that you buy that's perishable, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know to reach to the back for your milk where the newest milk is so it'll last longer.
I'm a vendor. I know exactly where to reach for my shit.
Okay, so there you go. You're right. You stock the shelves. You know exactly where the fresh stuff is, don't
And
you?
my first job in the high school was working at Kroger. I know the system. I've known it all my whole life. So
Yeah, exactly. So you know where to get the fresher stuff versus the stuff that's about to go
yep,
bad.
yep, yep.
They say dumb stuff like this, and you're like, "Oh my God, how have you survived as an adult this long?" You know?
And they got voted in office, so that's something's
Uh,
there.
all right. Yeah. Yeah, that means a whole bunch of other people have no idea how to live or how to survive, and they need someone else to tell them how to do it. I still don't understand why it has to cost everyone else money. Like, can't we just sit them down in front of a computer and show them a YouTube video? That's too bad. My connection. I got full connection. there you are.
Yep, I'm back.
I've had a decent connection. I don't know what happened. I
Did you
think you
cover
shared this one. Oh, go ahead. What's up?
the Korean War vet?
Yeah. There's a video. I don't know how long it is. I don't know if you wanted to share, but I guess he was kicked out of a nursing home in New York to make room for illegal immigrants.
I'm watching an ad.
Obviously, this is something we've seen all over the country with vets being kicked out of housing like this to make room for migrants. And it really makes you wonder that between this and then booing at a swearing in ceremony, it makes you really wonder, is it worth it?
Right.
Are they going to call you baby killer when you come home? And that was Vietnam. This guy was Korean War. That was even further back.
Yep.
Frank, I think they want to hear from you about your thoughts.
Okay. First, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I guess they want to get this microphone.
First, I'd like to thank you for having me here. Great pleasure to meet all these people as interested as I am in what's going on. Now, the thing I'm annoyed about is how they did it. It was very disgraceful what they did to the people in Island Shores. They gave us time to get out, but they never said when, and they never said they were going to get us out. And then one day, there's a thing on the board, a notice on the board, you gotta be out by March 15th. I think that gave us like a month and a half to find out where we're gonna go. I thought my suitcases were gonna be on the curb because I'm not that fast. If it wasn't for my daughter, they would have been on the curb. But
Guy's in a wheelchair,
that's
old
what
man.
happened, and that was it. I said, no, 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 you're not moving me. And they said, yes, 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 we are. And everything was done behind closed doors.
Because they got more money from the
We
federal
didn't have a
government.
chance to actually make any attempt to stop them because there wasn't enough time. I thank Richie over there for looking after me. He did a terrific job.
That's all good.
That's why the federal
Between
government
him,
should
my
be
daughter, and my
involved.
grandkids, I survived.
Well, I'll say this. Frank is very fortunate to have a loving family and a support system. He's fortunate to have his daughter Barbara, his grandson Michael have been willing to help, but not every senior has that. And we know that there are seniors that were in that facility that did not have that support system, and that's why we demand to know what happened to them. But it also brings up a point that they were forced to leave on a certain day in March. Yet, when the elected officials inquired, they were told they don't want to sell in this market. What was the rush then? That's the question we need the media to ask Homes for the Homeless. If you didn't sell the property and you still weren't interested in selling the property, then what was the rush to get these senior citizens out? They deserve to know. They deserve to have answers. And if this is a nonprofit organization that wants to keep its nonprofit status, they better have the answers to those questions.
Well, they don't
I
specifically
thank you
say
all
this for
coming,
migrants.
and I'm sure you have questions, not for me.
But they
for
kicked everybody
our
out for
friend
some
here.
reason.
Yeah. Uh, but again, that's why the federal government shouldn't be involved in any of this. The federal government doesn't have the authority. And then they go libertarian on it. Doesn't have the authority to be doing this shit.
No, they don't.
They can't just take taxpayer dollars. That's supposed to be for federal programs. Federal government just can't keep making more programs. States are supposed to handle this shit. That's what gets me is Massachusetts complains about their taxes, but then votes for more of these programs.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's like, hey, Massachusetts, they're taking your tax money because you're making so much money on, in the Northeast, right?
Yep.
And they're giving it to these people you hate in the mountains of West Virginia.
Right.
Why don't you just keep your money? They keep their money and figure it out on their own.
Exactly.
Then this it passes few through her hands, which means fewer people have to get paid, which means fewer taxes are paid too.
And that's what's going to happen in New York City. You know, more people are going to leave the state, leave the city. That the people that can afford to leave are going to leave, and it's going to be left with the middle class and the lower middle class to low income people to pick up the pieces. And do you think New
Well,
York
that's
City
what.
is going to start spending less money when they got less money coming in?
No, they're gonna find another way to tax people, and that's the thing. Is they're like, oh, 9% of the population is gonna leave. Good, let's make it. Let's double it. I'm like, you do realize what your own governor said 1.5% of the people of New York, the entire
And
state,
yeah,
most of which live within New York City, pay a third of all the taxes.
right, for the whole state.
If you don't think that, yeah, that 9% that's gonna roll out of New York City is going to include most of that 1.5% that pays
Yep,
all of the taxes, right?
right.
And they're gonna go to Maryland where you're taxed way less to run a business, or
Yeah, they could even in
try to
New
get
Jersey,
started.
they're taxed less in New Jersey. Not by much, but it's still less, you know. Or they'll move to Florida. They're not going to Texas anymore because Texas is putting a tariff
And you
on
still
them.
get to New York.
Yeah, I mean everything. I
Well,
mean
especially in the light of remote work. A lot,
exactly. Yeah. Yep. Well, and then I even saw an article. I didn't share it,
especially
but they're saying that the financial sector is not relying on Wall Street as much anymore. You know, they're moving away from Wall Street because they don't need to be
yeah,
physically
like
in
you could set
Manhattan to
up in a remote.
do.
Yeah, you could set up in the middle of nowhere and do the same thing because you're communicating at the speed of light.
Yep.
Uh, all right. 20th strike, which is funny, is I already had this article in there and asked for military stuff to try to create one more topic, and this is the first article you shared.
I figured it was.
We carried out our 20th drug cartel strike, yeah, and killed four. Uh, Venezuela and Russia are getting pissed, which
Well,
I laugh because Venezuela keeps saying they're not our. It's not coming from us anyway.
we
So what
just
difference does it
knew
make
moved a
as
new.
they prepare for
We
war?
I don't know where it is, but I know we moved a new battle group down there this week. So
Yeah, we've been talking about this for weeks though.
no, but they just
Yeah,
replaced
they
the one that
finally
was
showed
down there and
up.
they moved a
They
new
said
one
it's the
down.
biggest. Yeah, and it's bigger. Like it's the biggest since the like Panamanian invasion or something like that, or I don't know, something stupid. Uh, but yeah, Venezuela is getting ready for war, and it's funny because yeah, compared to the rest of the Latin nations around them, they are more advanced militarily, but they're using Soviet weapons.
It's the Gerald Ford
They literally
is
bought them from
in.
the Soviet Union. There you go. Yeah, Maduro's in there, but Chavez made a deal with the Russians at the time
Yeah,
to buy old Soviet weapons, and it's like these are like 60 years old, you know, at this point, because that's why the Soviet Union fell was they couldn't keep up with the arms race. They weren't producing more stuff while the United States still hasn't stopped advancing their freaking weaponry. Just fucking terrifying.
right.
Uh, but yeah, this next one here says Putin issues a three-word vow to Venezuela, but I couldn't find the three words he said.
Oh, I hate headlines like that.
But basically, yeah, I know, right? But he was
Clickbait.
basically saying how he's on their side, and it's completely wrong of the United States to be targeting these drug vessels because blah blah blah, blah international waters, and it's like, all right, well, who's the authority?
Yeah,
You know what
that
I mean? To say we can't do this, which
they're talking about sending
what's up?
experimental missiles to Venezuela from Russia. intermediate range ballistic
Well, these are the ones
missile.
they bombed. What?
They hit
Are
central
these the
Ukraine.
hypersonic ones they were talking about?
They used them in Ukraine last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are the hypersonic missiles they were bragging about. Um, I think if they install hypersonic missiles into, because he's talking about giving them to Ukraine, not even their own thing.
Yeah.
I think it would be blown up before they had a chance to get it operational. No way we're gonna let you keep a bunch of anti-ship missiles here while we're blowing up your drug cartel, you know?
Right.
And, this next one
Apparently,
here got me.
yeah. I don't think I saw
Uh,
this one come through.
mm,
We're using
yeah,
satellites to jam now.
apparently the United States is, yeah, United States Space Force weapon that they're now talking about, which makes me wonder how operational it is before we even started bragging about it. Usually we keep our mouth shut until we
Hell
use it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Until it's available to be
Uh,
used. Yeah.
but yeah, not even that. Just we keep our mouth shut, let no one know we have it until it gets used, like the A bomb.
Right.
But we got these satellites in orbit from the Space Force. They're like probes almost, or drones that just cut off communications from satellites as they choose. So, like, should war break out, we could just go shut off all the Russian satellites or all the Chinese satellites so they can't communicate and coordinate globally.
That's awesome. That's incredible. That's a that's
Whoa.
a war changer there.
Yeah, and I mean, especially if not even especially, but I'm sure these things could be used to kamikaze too. Like for whatever reason they built something that we can't just shut down.
Hmm.
They'll just smash into
Yeah.
it at you know. It's, you missed all that, didn't you?
You're gonna use
Should one of
the
these countries build something
satellites to be like kamikaze drones. Yeah.
exactly what I said, kamikaze going at 600 miles an hour in orbit, right?
Yep.
Just ooh, blow dust when you hit it.
Yep.
This, like you said, communication.
Yep.
So finally, the federal government is talking
Recognizing
about what's
these
going on in
Christian.
Nigeria.
Exactly. Yeah. Christians are getting killed
We've been
over
talking about this
there.
for
We have talked about it in the
not a
past.
long time. We have because everyone's worried about this and that, but they don't care about all the other stuff. I'm just glad to hear the government talking about it, and we'll see if anything happens with the Muslim population wiping out the Christian population in Nigeria. I don't know. Yeah, I say it's not our problem,
Yeah.
but you know, you may have a different point of view. Seem to get involved in a lot of shit.
Yeah. We do.
Anything leftovers you want? Anything?
Well, we got John F. Kennedy's grandson running for U.S. House seat. Jack Schlossberg. Think I lost you again. Internet's getting
Chinese
worse.
bread stories.
Oh yeah, that was crazy too. That they just built this thing like a couple months ago. And I think we talked about it when it was built. You know, it was like a big marvel, a miracle that they built. And a couple of days ago, they found cracks in it, so they shut down all traffic on it, and then it collapsed. Probably a good reason why not to let that Chinese build your shit. And we've lost Jeffrey. I'll give him a couple minutes to try to come back. So let me look at another article here. Um, and then we've got the FBI arresting former Governor Newsom's chief of staff on public corruption charges. So that's not a good look for the chief of staff of a governor. And UPS and FedEx have both grounded the MD-11 fleet after Boeing told them to do so after that crash.
Yeah, a lot of people died.
Yeah.
Did you you see this did you share this vegan
I
chef
shared the
thing?
vegan one, yeah, uh-huh.
Did
Yeah.
you read
Yeah.
the whole story? Because I got a lot of satisfaction out of it.
I made it through the first paragraph or two. I'm like I don't normally read through the whole stories because a lot of them are clickbaits, and
All
if
right,
they don't tell
well,
me what I want, after the first paragraph or two, if they don't say what I want to say, I forget about it and move on.
yeah, that's the problem is that they hide all the good stuff at the bottom these days. It's the opposite of how you're supposed to write news. But she owned 5 vegan restaurants in Southern California. Uh, went to a TED talk and she found out there's no such thing as vegan food because they use like blood meal and worm casings and cow and chicken waste to make fertilizer. You plant a tree to grow
Ah, okay.
avocados,
Uh
and
huh.
you
Yeah.
displace the ground squirrels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. None of it's vegan.
Okay.
And it snapped in her head. So she tried to create like this during COVID. She tried to set up her restaurants to be like a sustainable restaurant that kept everything in a balance.
Yeah.
And all the vegans showed up and poured blood all over her restaurant. So she said, "Fuck it," moved to Texas and opened up a cattle ranch.
Awesome.
She's like, "Cows aren't the problem. It's like that there has to be a balance. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's predators, there's prey, vegetables." Oh, anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I think that's probably about it.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, there's one more I want to talk about, and you're back now. So, we got the pharmacy student that was shot and killed by a friend who became paranoid after they smoked pot together.
Oh, yeah. Both of us shared this article, oddly enough. Um, the only thing I could think was if she shot and killed her friend because she got paranoid from getting stoned, either there's something else in that weed or
Yeah,
she had something that she was trying to hide and was terrified someone was gonna find.
yeah, yeah. There's more to the story.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they can smell the pot. The cops are gonna show up. They're gonna find the 6 bodies I buried under the porch.
Weed does tend to make you paranoid, but not enough to shoot somebody,
Ah,
especially a friend.
yeah, and you know what? It makes you paranoid at first when you're like getting into pot.
Yeah,
Once you get into like I've smoked more than 5 or 6 times, you don't get that paranoid, you
yeah,
know? But
yeah.
but yeah, I was like, something else is going on here. There's more to the story. They just don't want to let us know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brian, that's our turk today. Let's pinch this sucker off.
All right.